As you look at, probably the biggest thing I'm pleased with as we continue to install more things and kind of branch out a little bit, they're picking it up fast. They're picking it up fast. They're really playing off of each other well. The older guys are really bringing the younger guys along, which is really, really good to see. So I'm happy with the direction we're going.
Malachi and James, how they continue to build off.
Oh man, they're getting better every day. They're getting better every day, and again, mentally they're getting better. Physically they're getting better. Confidence is getting better. You're just, again, they're a flower that's just continuing to blossom. So I'm with snaps and reps, it'll just continue to go upward.
Ish is having a lot of strength since you guys got it. How's that translated on the field? What have you seen?
It's good. Ish is so freaking instinctive, and he's so explosive, and he's just got that natural nose for the football. He can hunt the ball. The thing with him is taking his instinctive things and just making sure it applies to what we're trying to get done schematically. And there was a huge disconnect at the beginning of spring, and that disconnect is getting smaller and smaller every practice. So, but he has some things that he does just naturally that is hard to coach. A guy either has it or he doesn't, and it's just going to be really good.
If you're put on the spot and you had to single out one guy that maybe surprises you, where you found out he could maybe help you a little bit more than you thought, who would it be?
It's not so much of a surprise. I think the one thing you look at, and I'll just take Ish and GB, Grant Bierman, two guys that come in at mid-year, completely new culture, completely new atmosphere, completely new system, and they started off a lot further along than typically young guys would that are coming into a new situation. So, that was good to see. You never really know how far down or how much above or ahead a guy might be, coming in early like that, especially looking at GB as, he should be getting ready to go to third period science class right now. But just looking at mentally how well they were able to grasp certain things that were really foreign to them, that's been really good to see.
For Bierman, how important is the work that he's done with Tank, and I assume he's still got more work to do between now and fall camp, right?
Yeah, it's good. He's in the process of right now just kind of transitioning into his college body. I tell guys all the time, when you get into college and now everything you do mentally, physically, emotionally, athletically is geared towards one thing, football. This will be the first time GB's ever really had a chance to do that. And you look at his big 6'3", almost 6'4", 230-pound frame, and he's still just a big baby. It's that guy's going to be extremely impressive physically when you look at him at the end of the summer, having a chance to go through a full off-season. So it'll be fun to watch.
The combination of length, plus he can play in space.
Mm-hmm.
What's that mean for the future of that group to have somebody like that?
Oh, it's exciting, man. It's exciting. I think the biggest thing that caught my eye with him, when you look at things athletically, is sometimes it's hard to find guys with that size and that length, and for them to play as well in space as they do. That's not normal. It's not common. And so that was the first thing that jumped out at me, in the recruiting process with him. And then on top of that, he's an incredible person that comes from an amazing family. He does everything right. And again, you won't see too many guys of his size. And again, he's still just a baby. Like, he's going to get so much bigger, and he's super athletic. He can play in space. He can run. He can bend. There's going to be a lot of ways we can use him.
For these new guys, do you try to just give them one position to learn, or are you trying to get guys that are interchangeable between the Will and the Mike positions?
We try to double train everybody, and for me as a coach, what I try to be aware of is, as we're double training people, when is it becoming overwhelming? And then if I start noticing that it's becoming overwhelming, then we just try to scale back a little bit. But no, and what we do, you can't just do one thing in our room. Like, everybody has to know what to do in multiple positions, in different situations. And for me as a coach, then it's just finding out which guys do what the best. But no, he's playing a couple of different spots right now, and he's doing fine.
For your room, how big is it having a mix of kind of some raw talent in there, but also some experienced guys who can kind of bring them along?
It's great. It's great. Like I said, it's because we got exactly what you just said. We have a mix of some raw talent. We have some new guys that are transitioning mentally. We have some older guys that know exactly what we do, how we do it, how to prepare. They've been in big games and big moments, and they've made plays. So just meshing those two components together is making our room. It's going to be fun to watch, you know. So to answer your question, that's been really good for me as a coach.
Does that speed up the process for some of those freshmen, having guys that they can then learn from instead of just coaches?
I think it speeds up their ability to be comfortable in their own skin. You know, like I say, if you just came and sat in our meeting room, the amount and everything in our meeting room is strategically placed, but the level of me coaching and then players coaching players is really at a high level, and that's kind of what we shoot for. You know, and it happens every time we sit in that room and we're in an environment where we're going in there to learn. Those guys lean on each other a lot, and for me, that's really happy to see.
Seems like the last time we talked to you, Malachi Hood was building off the momentum we saw in that Northwestern game when he had such a big game. Has that continued throughout
Yes.
the spring?
Oh my gosh, yes. You know, Kai is, again, he's still just starting to scratch the surface. You know, and you think, if you look at the road he's traveled, coming in, transitioning, trying to learn a new position, go through a major injury, coming back and just gradually just getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And again, there's so much football still ahead of him. So I'm excited about him because, again, he's so gifted in so many areas, and he's talented, he's fast, he's explosive, he can run, and now he's just starting to blossom, you know. So I'm excited for him.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.